Imagine you are being watched, followed every moment. There's something that knows every move you make. Today on Cinecom, we're diving into Longlegs, a spine-chilling thriller movie that takes fear to a whole new level. Welcome to Cinecom. So, the film starts in 1974, where we see a little girl who sees a car stopping outside her house. She checks outside to see who it is, but finds no one in the car. Suddenly, she hears someone's voice coming from behind the house, and she goes there to check, but there was no one there either. Then the next moment, a strange man comes and stands behind her, and in a very strange way says, "Your birthday is coming." We can't see this man's face properly, but his skin was so white that it looked like there was no blood stain in him. Now the story goes a few years ahead, where we see some FBI agents at one place who are preparing to catch a dangerous criminal. This is where our main character of the story, Lee, is also shown. Lee and her agent partner set out to find the criminal. Now Lee feels strange to see a house, and she tells her partner that the criminal is definitely in this house. Lee's partner ignores this and doesn't take it seriously, so he knocks on the door without fear. But Lee was right, because the criminal opens the door, shoots the agent, and kills him. Lee hid on time. After a while, she goes inside the house in fear. She sees the criminal sitting at one place. She points a gun at him and asks him to surrender. It means to hand him over. Then the criminal also surrenders. But Lee catches him and hands him over to the FBI. Now we see that Lee's physical test is taken, in which it is found that she has some mental powers, because of which she found out about the criminal. Where is he? Means the person they want to find. Lee can talk about him by realizing his presence with her power. Now Lee is sitting in the car with her senior agent, Carter, and her partner. They had parked their car outside a house. This house once had a family, says senior agent Carter. They were living happily, but one day the head of the family killed his wife and child, after which he took his own life. Now this did not happen only to them, but in the last few years, this has happened to many families. Something happened to the head of the family, in which, after killing everyone, he kills himself. Now a letter is found from the houses of all those families, in which some strange codes are written. At the end of the letter, a name is also written. Longlegs. The writing of all the letters was also the same. That is, Longlegs is a person who does something with the father of the family by which he kills himself after killing everyone. Now the FBI has not found out who this Longlegs is, because no one had ever seen him. So now they wanted Lee to solve this case with the help of her powers. Lee is surprised to see that one thing is the same in every family. Every family has a 9-year-old girl whose birthday is on the 14th. She gathers all this evidence. She finds out that when the families die, then the reason behind all this, which he writes to them, i.e. Longlegs, he is not present in that house, which meant clearly that there is someone who was helping Longlegs in this work. Now Carter had drunk too much, so Lee goes to leave the house by car. Where she meets Carter's wife and daughter, Carter's daughter shows her her room and says that my birthday is coming, so you must come. Lee comes back to her house and calls her mom. We find out that Lee's birthday is coming, but then suddenly someone starts banging on the door of her house. As soon as Lee goes to check, she does not find anyone there. As soon as Lee looks out the window, she sees a strange shadow. Lee picks up her gun in fear and opens the door and goes out. But that shadow had disappeared from there. Suddenly, she feels someone's presence inside her house. When she came inside, there was no one there except for a letter that was kept by someone. It is written on that letter not to open it before January 14th, because it was Lee's birthday on January 14th. Lee could not resist, and she opened the letter, which said, "Happy Birthday." Along with that, the codes were also written, which were also in the letters of those families, which meant that this letter was also kept by Longlegs. Now Lee starts decoding those codes to understand what they mean. Meanwhile, she receives a call from the agent, Carter, and he calls her to a new crime scene. This crime scene was also very scary, where Longlegs killed another family mercilessly. It had been a month since this family died, and their corpses had rotted badly. Here also we find the same pattern, in which there was a 9-year-old girl, and she was going to celebrate her birthday on January 14th. Carter gets disturbed after seeing all this, because this pattern did not end at all. Lee calls her mother and tells her that she will be busy for a few days, and we will meet on the birthday. Lee tells her to pray to God every day, and ask for prayers, because prayers keep us safe from the devil. Lee ignores this and says that she remembers everything. And she disconnects the call. Now Lee again focuses on her case and tries to solve it. She marks the dates of all the evidence in the calendar, where she finds a strange pattern, which looks like an upside-down triangle, which is a sign of the devil. This pattern was incomplete. Now to complete it, one date was missing, and that was the 13th, which means on the 13th of the next month. Longlegs was going to murder another family again. Lee tells Carter this and tells him that Longlegs wrote in his letter that he enjoyed killing the Camera family. The Camera family was killed a few years ago. The head of the family killed the entire family, but also killed a priest, who was in their house. But the daughter of the family head, whose name was Carrie, was saved because she had gone to school, and now she is in a mental asylum. After hearing this, Lee and Carter go to the farmhouse of the Camera family. There they find a coffin after searing for a long time, in which there was a doll, which looks exactly like Carrie. When the doll is checked, it is found that this doll was made by someone. It has a metal ball on its head. Lee feels a strange vibration when Lee touches this metal ball. Because of these vibrations, Lee gets a strange thought, that she is seeing some snake. She also realizes that this doll is somehow connected to the evil power. After this, a flashback is shown in which we see Longlegs making this doll, which means the one who made these dolls was also Longlegs. After this, we see Longlegs. There we can see his face for the first time. Longlegs was white, as we saw in the beginning of the story. Now Longlegs goes to a shop to buy some things. He starts doing strange things and asks the girl sitting on the counter about her birthday. He was also doing strange things in front of the girl, after which he starts going somewhere. He starts screaming loudly in his car as if he is very angry. Maybe this is because that girl's birthday date is not on the 14th. On the other side, Lee and Carter go to the mental asylum to meet Carrie. It turns out that Carrie's condition was awful for the last 20 years. Neither she would answer any question, nor would she respond to any action. But yesterday was a different day, because for the first time in 20 years, someone came to meet her. And Carrie suddenly got well and started talking. Now the person who came to meet her wrote his name as Lee in the register. But Lee came here for the first time today, which was very strange, and they also got shocked. It turns out that it was Longlegs who came to meet Carrie and cure her, but he wrote Lee's name instead of his in fear of being caught. Lee now meets Carrie and asks her some questions. Now, in a flashback, it is shown that Carrie's dad killed the priest and his wife. We are seeing all this from the perspective of the doll that was lying in the house. Lee asks Carrie who came to meet her yesterday. Carrie says that I can never forget the person who came, and I am ready to listen to anything. If he asks me to kill Lee, I will do it right away, and if he asks me to jump, I will do it without any delay. Carrie also mentions Mr. Downstairs, but we are not told who he is. But Lee asks her about this doll, and she says that she forgot everything about the doll, just like you forgot. Now after this, Lee meets Carter and says that there is something in these dolls that is the reason for these murders, because all the killed families have this doll as their daughter. Now, in many places, dolls are used to cast a spell or to control someone, but Carter did not believe in these things. He says, "How does Longlegs know your name? Do you have any connection with him?" But she remains silent. Carter says that he has checked Lee's file, and he found out something about Lee's mother. Actually, Lee's mother had filed a report against. A day before Lee's 9th birthday, a white and tall man. But when he asks Lee about this, she says that she does not know anything about this. So, Carter sends Lee to meet her mother. When Lee goes to her mother's house, she sees that she is behaving very strangely. Lee's mother asks her if she still prays, and Lee answers that she does not, because she is afraid of prayers. Hearing this, her mom started to laugh loudly. She said, "You're right, because prayers are useless." It was strange because she used to believe in God and pray. But now her view has changed. After this, Lee goes to the kitchen and sees a worm coming out of the basement. As soon as Lee sees it, she sees a flashback where she sees the same snakes again. Then she finds herself with her mother. Here we see little Lee, and it turns out that the girl we saw at the beginning of the movie was Lee. The scene returns to the present time. Lee asks her mother about her 9th birthday and the man who came to meet her, who was a white man who was Longlegs. But Lee did not know about this. but her mother avoids this as if she knows everything. But I can't tell. She just says that all her birthday things are still in her room. That's why Lee goes to her room, and there she finds a box in which her captured pictures were, and she finds Longlegs' photos. Seeing this, she became afraid. She recognizes him because he was in her childhood photo. Now here we know that when Longlegs came to meet Lee in her childhood, her mother also came there and asked Longlegs, "Who are you and why are you talking to my daughter?" Longlegs sings and says, "Either let me come inside the house right now, or I will come again and again and knock on your door." Now when Lee finds Longlegs' photo, she goes to Carter. With the help of the picture, the police finally caught Longlegs. The officer asks him his name and tells him that he wants to meet Lee. Then he starts singing a happy birthday song for Lee. The female agent says that they have found many notebooks in Longlegs' stuff, in which many devilish things are written, which proves that Longlegs worship the devil. It is completely legal in America. It means it is legally permitted. They have not yet found any evidence that all those murders have been committed by Longlegs. Carter says that they've caught Longlegs, so there is nothing to worry about. But Lee says that Longlegs' companion is still roaming outside, and we don't know anything about him. And by the time that triangle was completed, 13th was the date. That is the date of today, which means that Longlegs' companion will definitely kill someone. Lee goes to meet Longlegs, and she recalls her childhood when Longlegs tells her that he is a friend of Mr. Downstairs. Carter goes to Longlegs and asks him about his companion and about downstairs. Longlegs says, "Why don't you ask your mother about this? She will give you a better answer." Then he gives some close hints, about which we will know later. But those clues are very shocking. After hearing her mother's name, Lee says, "What is the connection of this with my mom? She doesn't know anything about this." Later, Longlegs. "Hail Satan, that is the jail of the devil. That is, the devil is alive." He hits his head on the table, so that his nose and jaw broke and he was soaked in blood. And that's when he dies. Carter says that Carrie also killed herself jumping from the mental asylum. Now, Lee and the female agent go to Lee's mother to ask about Longlegs. Lee goes alone to her house, but her mother is not at home, because she was behind the female agent when she was sitting in the car. The agent sees that there is another car besides Lee's mother, which was Longlegs' car. Now, Lee's mother shoots the female agent and kills her. As soon as Lee hears the gun, she looks out of the window, where she gets very scared after seeing the sight. Now, when Lee comes out of the house, her mother has pointed a gun at a doll as well. She says to Lee that you caught her, and now she is free, and so are you. As soon as he says this, her mother shoots and the head of the doll falls, and black smoke comes out of its head. This smoke also comes out of Lee's head, which makes her unconscious. Now after this, we are shown another flashback, in which the whole story comes in front of us. So actually, Longlegs is a doll maker who works for the devil. He calls the devil Mr. Downstairs. That day, Longlegs also came to give a doll to Lee, and because of this doll, Lee did not remember anything about her childhood. Now the devil wanted to kill Lee. So Lee's mother made a deal with the devil for her daughter, that if he leaves her daughter alive, then she will help Longlegs. This means that Lee's mother was Longlegs' companion for so long. Longlegs used to make different dolls for different girls. That looked exactly like those girls. Lee's mother used to go to people's houses in the guise of a nun. She used to tell those families that your daughter had won a doll from the church. And people didn't even doubt her in the name of the church. These dolls had a devil inside who used to corrupt the dad of the house. This means he used to control and possess his mind, which he used to kill the whole family and take his own life. The letter of Longlegs that people used to get in homes was also kept by Lee's mother. Because of this, Longlegs used to kill people without going to their houses, so that he could give a sacrifice to the devil. Then the flashback ends, and Lee's eyes open at the same place where Longlegs used to make dolls. This place is not anywhere else but in the basement of her house, where Longlegs used to live for a long time. Lee gets a phone call in which a devilish voice says that you are late for Carter's daughter's birthday party. Lee remembers that today is Carter's daughter's birthday, which means that Agent Carter's family is the next victim of the devil, because her birthday is also on the 14th. That's why she immediately sits in Longlegs' car and goes to Carter's house. But when she goes to Carter's house, she sees that her mother is already there, and the doll that looks like Carter's daughter is also kept there. Not only this, but Carter and his wife are behaving very strangely because the doll had started showing her effect. Both husband and wife now go to the kitchen to get a cake, where Carter attacks his wife with a knife and kills her, after which he tries to kill his daughter. But Lee shoots Carter and kills him. Seeing all this, Lee's mother also takes out a knife from her bag and goes ahead to kill Carter's daughter because she had become a complete slave to the devil. But Lee shoots her own mother and kills her. Lee was about to shoot that doll, but the bullets of that gun ran out, after which Lee now tells the child to leave. The child was ready, but Lee herself stops and looks at the doll, as if the doll had corrupted her too, after which we see Longlegs. Yes, he was not dead. He was still alive. He was saying, "Hail Satan," and starts laughing badly. We understand that nothing has ended. In fact, the process of the deaths of the families is going to start. Because Longlegs is also alive, and after seeing the behavior of Lee, it seems as if she has also been corrupted. And now, like her mother, she will also support Longlegs. Because Lee's birthday was also on the 14th, so the devil wanted to kill her. But because her mother had made a deal with Satan, he did not kill Lee. Because her mother was supporting Longlegs, but now he was going to take this task from Lee instead of her mother. And with this horrific ending, the film ends. Thanks for watching the video. If you like this video, then comment and share it with your loved ones and subscribe to the channel to watch such content from me. See you in the next video. Till then, take care.